This is episode 28 of Week to Week, the weekly YouTube series where we take you behind the scenes of running our small business. My name is William, and together with my fiancée Laura and my brother Andrew, we run an attachment company. Our business has two main locations, one here in central Scotland and one in Denver, Colorado. Hopefully this weekly series provides you an insight of what it takes to run our business. Monday morning, we're in the warehouse, starting the week off strong with a couple of orders. First one done, ready to go, an S4 400mm tungsten auger with an additional extra dig pilot and a 200mm log splitting cone. And the second order, just about ready to go. It's an Avant setup. You've seen us pack some of these previously. The only difference with this is the style of mounting bracket, and it's an ML drive as opposed to an X2500. You'll be more than used to our standard X2500 drives. This is more or less the same idea. It's an ML 2500. It's an X2500 gearbox and motor, but without the hood. The whole idea being that it mounts on one of these. That is a four-way swing frame. Lets the drive swing this way and this way on a set of 4 pins. For an Avant, it's for a slightly smaller Avant. And the whole reason is it is a lot nicer to use a mixer bowl. With this setup, it allows the drive to swing right up and round to use the mixer bowl. I'll cut a little bit of footage in here and show you what I mean. Just for the smaller size Avants, that drive unit is better suited. It's going with a 300mm S4 Tungsten Auger and a 200mm and a mixer bowl. The mixer bowl we just assembled, one of my least favourite jobs in here, I have to admit. That's the four-way swing frame. You can see these two pins here locate in the two holes, the hole either side of the drive. That lets it pivot that way, and then the frame lets it pivot this way as well. And it's on a mounting bracket for an Avant. So that's an ML 2500, 180 litre mixer bowl, 200mm, 300mm augers and the mounting frame. Almost lunchtime Monday, orders are nearly done. I'm going to finish getting this one ready to go and let's get it out of here. It is 4:45 I think, Monday afternoon, and if you're here solely for the digger, the digger and the attachment content, you can go ahead and click off now. You can click over to tomorrow and we'll catch that back up then. However, if you're into vehicles and mechanics and the likes, stay tuned, because you can see I'm excited by this. I've got a little repair to make on my Jeep. Background to this: when we decided to go full time at this business at the start of 2023, I gave up my work pickup that was through my job with my parents, and I needed a vehicle. So the Land Rover Discovery that I've been using for the last year and a bit came up. My next door neighbours were selling it. It was reasonably priced. I couldn't afford to go and buy something really fancy or buy something brand new, and I really didn't want to take out any borrowing to do so. So this came up, it was cheap enough, and it's been absolutely, to be honest, great for us for over a year now. However, in the last month or two, the exhaust has started to get a little bit noisy. I was under it last week. The flexi on the downpipe has burst, so parts have arrived. Let's go and see how difficult this is to fix. Is it a great idea to be starting this at 5 PM? Probably not. However, work takes priority, so we're starting it now. Hopefully we can get done this evening. We can get using it again tomorrow, but let's get inside and I'll show you where we're up to. Right, we've removed the clamp. I debated unbolting it, tried to unbolt it for about 3 seconds. Then I just cut it off. But you can see the problem is there. Burst flexi. The difficult bit's going to be getting these bolts out though. New decat pipe. Now let's see if we can get the bolts out. Right, I'm just about to give up for the night. Let me quickly show you where we're up to. Cut the exhaust pipe off there. That should let me get it out of there. That should come out without too much of a fight. Got one of the nuts off, the bottom right. I've got the top one, I've got the nut right at the end. That should manage to get that off in the moment, and then I'm fighting with this bottom left one. I've had enough of that job anyway, so that's getting left. And better, more exciting news for you, and for me actually. GB breaker parts arrived. Hold on. GB parts arrived for the little breaker. If you were watching last week, you will have seen us, or you'll have seen me anyway, take apart a little GB hydraulic breaker. Parts are here for that. Hopefully we'll get back onto that tomorrow afternoon. If not, we'll get it back together Wednesday. One way or another, it's going back together this week. The mulcher foot from Saturday, we're missing a piece. The piece came wrong. This piece there. So that's been ordered. That should be here in the next couple of days. We'll get that done over the weekend. But otherwise, I've had enough for the day. I'm going home. I'm going to get my dinner. I'll see you tomorrow. That's better. A sense of normality has resumed. We're back to the DJI camera, so hopefully you'll see a little bit increase in video quality and audio quality because I'm back to using the microphone. But regardless, it's Tuesday morning. We're on the way up to the warehouse just now. A couple of things to get done. First, this morning we need to get a cradle hitch painted. That's going out with an order. In the meantime, I need to service and change the oil in a second-hand auger drive. Then pack that whole order. That's going out to customer today. Then hopefully we can get to the breaker rebuild, the little breaker that we took apart last week. Parts are in for that, as I showed you last night. Hopefully we can get to that. Then we need to get back to the vehicle repair job that we started last night as well. So all in all, plenty to be done. Let's go make a start and I'll show you the progress in a minute. Just when I'm passing, I forgot to show you yesterday. Simex VSE10 Screening Bucket was returned from the customer. I missed filming them unloading that yesterday. Really good feedback on the performance of it. If I can get some pictures and videos in time for this episode coming out, I'll put them in here. Thoroughly impressed by the performance and the output of it and the ability to change the screen size. However, with a change in direction of the job that they were on, couldn't quite commit to purchasing one at the moment. And that's fine. That's the whole point in having that unit there, to go out, show people the performance of it, and if it's right for their job and right for their application, then hopefully we can benefit from a sale at the same time. Hopefully at some point we can get that on a machine and actually properly test it out and show you it properly working, but just it's a time factor at the moment. Little breakers to go back together from last week. Other than that, let's go get a start on today's order and then we can go for there. We'll give this noisy door a second to finish closing. In fact, that'll do it. Right, in this morning's order there is X2500 drive going with it. But before that we need to change the oil out it, change the hoses because they are fairly well knackered. We'll put a new pin and stuff in it, just make sure it is ready to go. So for anybody that has one of these, changing the gear oil is very simple. There's a fill plug there, a fill and level plug on that side, and there's a drain plug on the back. This is a little bit easier to do when it's actually on your machine, especially if you've got a cradle hitch, but regardless the principle is the same. All I'm going to do is take this plug out, I'm going to let the old gear oil drain out the bottom, put that back in, we'll turn the unit straight up and then we'll fill it back in there. There's the old oil draining out there. What we're going to do is crack this top plug just to let some air in and let it drain out a bit quicker. There is a magnet on each of these plugs as well, so if there was any issues, any metal in the system, you would see it on the plugs, but they look pretty good considering the age of this unit. You can see it there draining out. I've taken this top plug out as well just to let some air in and let it drain out. Relatively speaking, that gear oil is fairly clean. Smells a little bit, but used gear oil does smell a little bit, so I'm going to let that drain out for the next 20 minutes or so. I'm going to go finish getting the cradle hitch ready for this order, then we'll come back, we'll refill that, we'll fit some new hoses and that'll be good to go. Right, we've left that drive now for about 45 minutes. Any oil that's in it is well and truly out of it by now. So let's get the plugs back in and fill it up. Okay, we've sat the drive upright. Going to take this plug back out, going to fill it back up with oil, change the hoses over, and this should be good to go. I forgot these are a little bit awkward to fill with a big jug, so switched over to something a little bit more size appropriate. This does remind me though, we have toyed with the idea of offering service packages for these drives, which would basically be what I'm doing here. We'll supply you with the oil, maybe an output, an oil lip seal, and then let you change over the oil yourself. But if we're doing that, it would need to be in a little bottle like this for it to be actually usable. Hopefully I can get more in this drive than I actually spill out of it. So it is a fill and a level plug. Fill it with oil until it starts to come back out the front again. I can't remember the exact number, I'll put it in here when we're editing this video, but it's something around 300 millilitres of oil. It's not a lot from memory. Put the plug back in, make sure they're both tight. When we've got it up here as well, I'm just going to go ahead, pull both of these hoses off and get them changed. As much as this was a used machine and the customer was aware of the condition, those hoses are only just going to fail at some point, and they will almost certainly fail when you're needing it, or when you're in the middle of a job. So let's just change them and we won't have any worries. Turned the mail in there as well, but that's fine, we'll take it out and we'll just put it back in. Alright, really should have thought this job through before I started it. I thought we had hoses long enough, but those ones are just going to be too short for this drive, so I'm going to go get some hoses. In fact, Laura is on her way back, she can pick some hoses up. This might stop this from going today, but we'll get the rest of the order put together, and then it's just a case of putting a couple of hoses on it. In the meantime, I'm going to blank these off. We can get this drive pretty much ready to go, and if it needs to go in the morning, we can just stick a set of hoses on it and get it out. Alright, result, Laura's picked this up. One pair of hoses for this. I've got the rest of the augers on, which means we can get this out today. Laura's here with the hoses, folks.
Hello.
While I'm fitting these, can you take the people round and tell them what's on this order? Yes?
Yeah. So we've got a X2500, which is a used one, but in great working order. It's been fitted with a new hitch bracket, double pin hitch, cradle, and then it has, there's two augers here, S4 augers at a 300 and also a 400 diameter. that are heading to customer, and also these new hoses that I have just brought in.
Changed the gear oil, filled it with new stuff, put a new pin in the bottom, a new linkage block and a new pin in the top. Stick these couple of hoses on and it's pretty much good to go. Morning orders done. I'll show you around the progress on the car repair in a minute, but first we've got a delivery. Quick rundown where we're up to with the vehicle repair. Final nut to get off there is proving rather difficult. That's all that's stopping us getting the old downpipe off, but I'm going to have to leave that for the time being because I've got a couple of back-to-back meetings this afternoon I'm going to get to just now. First I'm going to go put this delivery down in the warehouse, then get to the meetings. So this is not the way I like equipment to arrive to a customer, so thankfully it's only coming here. I think this came from maybe another Simex customer, I'm not entirely sure. It's here on consignment, a sort of demo and show basis. It is a Simex PL4520. What I'll do, because I don't like, that's not the best way to show you, I will get it turned right way up, I'll get it on a decent pallet, but it's the first one of them we've seen here, so that's pretty cool. We're just not doing it justice for actually showing you it at the moment, so leave that with us. I'll show you that in the morning, but in the meantime I have a couple of meetings to get to, and then I might need to go back to the car, back to the Jeep repair. We'll see what time it is, but first office and 2 meetings back to back. Yay, exciting.
And only John's gone. Well, you go there, you install the knocks, you go there for like a week.
Wednesday morning, starting off in the warehouse again. Couple of orders to go out this morning, 2 hard rock augers. I'm going to go get them out, get them on pallets, and then I'll show you around. Wednesday orders done. 2 S4 hard rock augers, 150 and a 250mm. Both of those ordered yesterday, picked from stock this morning. They'll leave today, they'll be with the respective customers tomorrow. On that note, talking about hard rock augers, I'm going to cut some footage in here thanks to Graham at GT Contracting. He was in and picked up a 300mm diameter, same as the auger I've just showed you, the hard rock with the rotating rock teeth. That's him drilling with it on his fence quip post driver, actually in at Edinburgh Zoo. He's doing some interesting work in there on the animal enclosures, so that'd be kind of cool. Some point hopefully we can get there and show you some of what he's doing. But you can see the 300mm hard rock there chewing I should say, through some very, very hard ground, so that's pretty cool. Thanks to Graham for the footage, for the videos. Hopefully we can get in there and get a closer look some point in the next few weeks. Wednesday evening, 5 PM, we're in the office. Laura is over there somewhere. We've just finished going through a bit of a meeting about Scotplant and the Sport Turf show. That's the 2 trade shows we are doing this year. I'll put some details in here of the dates and locations and stuff for both of them. Just going through what we're taking, things we need to get, whole host of stuff. So making some progress. We've got some things to work on. That's pretty much been it for the day. A few things to work on for tomorrow. Not a whole lot of orders to get out though. We will need to get back to that breaker. We will need to get back to fixing the Jeep. Yeah, load of stuff to be done, but productive day nonetheless. It is 5 o'clock Wednesday. I am out of here. It's football evening on Wednesday, so Valentine's is postponed till tomorrow night, but it's 5 o'clock Wednesday evening. We're in the office and I am out of here. Friday morning, we're back in the warehouse. We've got 1 order going out this morning. I'm about to go pack up just now. Yesterday ended up a little bit all over the place. I struggled to film any actual content. However, the big takeaway, or one of the big takeaways, I'll put a little clip in here. Vehicle, the Jeep, the Discovery is fixed. New downpipes on. It was an absolute mission to get the old one off, but it's off, the new one's on, and we're back in action. That's the big news from yesterday. I've got one other thing to show you after we pack this order, but first, let's go get a start on that, get the stuff in a pallet, I'll show you around it, then we'll get after the rest of the day. Right, let's see if we can get a good stamp on the box this time. Wouldn't bet on it, but let's find out. What do you think? Ah, much better. They're professional at that yet. Box over here. Two good stamps in a row. There we go. It's the small wins, people. It's the small wins. Okay, stick around. Right, let me quickly show you around what's on this order. There's still a bracket to go on it yet, but you've seen plenty of them. It is an Auger Torque 4500 max with a 300mm S4 Tungsten Auger and a 1 metre fixed extension. There is a double pin cradle hitch to go with that for the customer's Bobcat E27. That's normally a little bit too big of a drive unit for an E27. If all the customer was looking to do is drill 300 diameter holes, that's a little bit of too big a drive unit. But he's actually looking to put in screw piles with the auger drive as well, so the extra torque is what's required for that. We've covered this in previous episodes, but the RPM, the turning speed, will be slightly slower compared to like a 3500 max, but that extra increase in torque is the benefit as opposed to the slightly slower RPM. I've had like 4 goes at explaining that and tripped over my words in every one, so if that explanation was fairly poor, that's why. Yeah, cradle to go with this. I'm going to go get that just now, stick that in the pallet, and this will be good to go. Stick a label on this and get it out of here. Alright, it's Saturday morning, we're in the warehouse again. Didn't have a lot to show you yesterday afternoon. Ended up in a couple of last minute meetings that weren't really last minute, they were last minute because I forgot about them in all honesty. So not a lot to show you from yesterday afternoon, but it is 9:30 Saturday morning. It's already been a busy Saturday. Made some progress on the mulcher foot from last week. That'll be finished next week. I'll show you that when it's done. It's all tacked up. It's just ready to be fully welded and then painted. Had a customer come in there for a 400mm S4 Tungsten Auger. And now we are back to the breaker rebuild. So if you're watching this on week to week and you watched last week's episode, you'll know we disassembled a little GB hydraulic breaker. We stripped it down, we ordered the parts. The parts turned up earlier this week. So we're going to get into them. I'm going to see what's been delivered, show you around that, and then we'll get back to rebuilding it. I'll show you some clips in here, but the full video, we're going to do a full standalone video of the strip and the rebuild of this breaker. Once it is up on YouTube, I will let you know. You can go watch the whole process start to finish. So let's get a start on that. Hopefully we can get quite well on that today, and that'll be a productive Saturday morning. 12:30 Saturday afternoon. Real good progress made on this little breaker. It is pretty much ready to go back, to get tested and then to go back in the box. I need to torque up the tie rods. However, I gave a loan of my torque wrench away and I don't have it back. So that'll be Monday's job once I go get myself a torque wrench, torque them to spec, put some nitrogen gas in it, give it a test, and then hopefully, if all that goes the way I expect it to, it can go back together and that'll be pretty much done. So yeah, had to stop the rebuild video of that at the moment, but I'll get back to that hopefully Monday. A good progress nonetheless. I'm going to tidy up here, throw all these old seals out, move this breaker out the road. I've got a couple of brackets I need to look out for jobs for Monday. I'm going to do that. I have uprighted the planer that I showed you that got delivered the other day. I'll show you around that in a minute after I tidy up here, and that'll probably be us for Saturday. Now we've got this looking a bit more presentable. I told you I would show you around it. It is a new one for us in here. It's a Simex PL4520 skid steer mounted planer. We've shown planers on here before, but it's been excavator mounted ones. This is the first skid steer one we've had in. Just thought I would give you a show around. Depth adjustable on either side. 450mm wide planer drum. That's with the standard asphalt road planer teeth. 450 wide, that's where the 45 comes from. This is originally set up for a case skid steer, but it can be adapted for the controls on the majority of skid steers. It is 3 hoses, a double acting circuit and the case drain, and there is electrics for the control box that we're still waiting to arrive. Pretty cool to see that. Hydraulic side shift, hydraulic depth adjustment. Yeah, pretty cool. Obviously that slides on that carriage, slides along the frame for different offsets depending on what you're wanting to plane. I'll put all the specs up on the screen here so you can see it, but it is 450 wide and up to 150mm planer depth. Oh, and self-leveling there as well, up to 8 degrees either way. You can maybe see how it pivots on the back plate, and then you can see the side shift ram as well. Big thanks to Simex for sending that in. That's here on consignment so we can show you around it, and if we get the opportunity we can maybe get it out on a demo and show you one working. So that's pretty cool to see. As I say, haven't seen one before in person, we haven't had one in here. That's the first, so hopefully the first of many to come. I've looked out the brackets as well for tomorrow, not for tomorrow, for Monday. I'll quickly show you around them. 2 auger cradles. This one is going on there and vice versa. One for a TB260 and one for a Kubota KX80. There's one of them that definitely has to be done Monday morning. I may either do it tomorrow or it'll be done Monday morning to dispatch on Monday. Customer's in a hurry for a full setup for Tuesday, so that needs to be done. Otherwise, I think we're pretty much done for this week. I took an order for a breaker yesterday. I need to get a bracket made for it. I might send one of those boxes in there. I might get that out tomorrow, strip the plate off it and take it to get the bracket made. If not, I'll do that on Monday as well. But I won't bother showing you that. You've seen all that before. I'll show you when we come to rebuilding it and getting it ready to go. So otherwise, folks, thank you again for making it all the way to the end of this week's episode. It is thoroughly appreciated. Your support is what keeps us going to keep making these videos. And on that note, if you have any questions, any feedback on this week's episode, leave me a comment down below and I'll do my best to address it in upcoming weeks. Otherwise, when you're there, hit subscribe as well, and the wee notify bell would be doing us a massive favour. Other than that, have a great week. Well, the time you'll be watching this, it'll be Wednesday evening, so have a great end to the week and we'll see you on Monday. Cheers!